Alright, so once you're happy with your image, remember to click Save as PSD and name it New Project 01, save, and then we can close that one, start a new one. Alright, and this time I'll grab a, let's see, let's try grass. Let me try this image. Let's do a lake. So I got my background here. Gonna scale it up and click the check when you're done. Now, one cool thing I want to show you first is this brush tool. So down here are your colors. Say you want a bit of blue on your image, and you can right click to make your brush bigger and the hardness, make it soft. So remember to make a new layer, and you can paint some color on. Make sure your opacity is down, and you can use the size and go ahead and paint some color. As you can see, the color's kind of covering the image. So if we change this layer style, you can either change it to overlay, or you can just change it down here to color, and that will kind of adjust the color without changing the details too much. Overlay is good too. So now I want to grab something else just for fun. I'm gonna grab a dog and grab this one and click the check. So I'll move him where I want. Now the next tool I want to show you is this Lasso tool. I'll start with the magnetic lasso. So I'll zoom in a little, Control plus, and I'll just click along the line and keep clicking as I go around, and the line will automatically, like a magnet, kind of stick to where the edge is. So as you can see, I'm dragging, I'm just moving my cursor, and when you need to move, you hold down spacebar, and then you just go around, keep clicking every so often. Until you're back to the start, and then click to finish. So there we have a nice selection that kept some of the details. And so say I missed a part, like that toe or something, I can then switch to the lasso and then hold shift and just draw where I wanted. So make sure to draw a circle to grab the parts that you want, and you can hold Alt and remove parts that you didn't want. Like say you don't want this little blue part, and you draw that. So now I have a nice selection. In instead of deleting the background, I'm just going to copy the dog. So all I have to do is go layer, new, layer via copy, or you can hit Control J to copy. So here, see here, it gave you a new layer, so you can delete the old layer, and now you have just the dog on a separate layer. So now we have our dog, and so I want him to feel like he's kind of sitting on the water, so I want to make him like a nice reflection like the other birds have. So I'm going to take this, go layer, duplicate layer. So I want the one that's on the bottom, so I'll select the bottom layer, and then I want him to be flip, mirrored, reverse, so I have to go edit, transform, flip, vertical. So now I'll just drag that bottom layer down so it looks sort of like a reflection. You can turn on the transform tool. I'm using spacebar to move around, and then maybe just shrink him a little and click OK. Now I want the opacity to be lower, and I want a little bit of blur since it's a reflection, so I'm going to go up here to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and 7 is pretty good, so I'll click OK. And then I want to just erase a little bit away, so I'm going to make a big brush, and I'm going to turn the opacity down, and then I'm just going to click down here to kind of erase away as it fades. So there, now we have a dog with a reflection. So remember, what we're doing is just using the Lasso tool. So if you want to add anything else, you just follow that same thing. You just use the lasso, and yeah, if you don't want to use magnetic lasso, you can just go ahead and drag with the lasso and cut out the part you want, and then you just go layer, new, layer via copy, and then delete the background, and then you have your separate layer cut out. So you can go in more detail, but I just did this rough just to show you. So I'm going to turn that one off. So that's the lasso tool. One final tool I'm going to show you. So say you want to remove one of these birds here. So this is the clone tool. So the first thing we have to make sure is that we're on the right layer, so it's the background layer, and then make sure your brush is a nice soft brush, and get the size that you want. So just click. So see, it says you have to click Alt first to the area that you want to copy from. So I want to use this water to cover the bird. So I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to move my brush over and start painting. And what it's going to do is just copy this area over to here. And so that's how you can click Alt again down here, and then move your brush over and just paint him out like that. I'm going to just go back, and I'm gonna make a new layer and try that again, but now I'm gonna say current and below. So it's gonna use the bottom layers to copy, but it's gonna give me a separate layer that I'm painting on. So I'll click Alt and then brush. So now I have that on a separate layer. I can turn it on and off, or I can go image, adjustment, levels, and I sort of want to make that part a little bit darker. So I'm gonna just drag the middle to make it a little darker, and then click OK. So now that bird is gone. Can even just cover this as well. Alright. So that's the clone tool. It's the S hotkey, and that's all I'm gonna show you for now. And one other thing you can see is this crop tool. See, if you hover over each tool and leave your mouse there for a second, it will tell you the name and the hotkey. So brush tool, wand, lasso. So always remember, if you want to change anything on your layer, like the colors, you can click the layer and you can go up here to image, adjustments, and select something like color balance or levels. Color balance can change the colors. I'm gonna stop that for a second, and I'm gonna select these two layers. I'm gonna go layer, merge layers, so now they're one layer. And then I'll go image, adjustment, levels, and you can adjust the brightness if you want it a little darker. That's to make it brighter, to add some contrast. Click OK. So that's the levels tool. The last final thing we're gonna do is add a moon in the background. So I'm gonna grab a moon, something like this one, click once, close the gallery, click OK. Use my move tool and holding shift to keep the size, the height and width the same. Click the check. Now, because it's on a black background, we can actually just change the blending mode of the layer. Can change it to screen mode, so that will get rid of all the black parts. Then I want to just adjust the darkness a little, so I'm going to bring back some of the detail by bringing the dark down and maybe bringing the bright up a little. Click OK. So there, now we have our moon, have our dog, reflection, and birds. So you can play around with these blending modes of your layers. Multiply will keep the dark parts, and screen mode will keep the light parts. You can try all these and play around and see what effects you get. luminosity. Go back to screen. Alright, one last thing I want to show you is importing. If you have an image on your computer and you want to bring it into your file, all you have to do is open the folder, go to where your image is that you want, and just click and drag it in. And it's as simple as that. So now you have an image in your layer. So any images you want to go online, if you don't want to use this gallery and you want to go find an image on Google and save it, or you have some of your own photos you want to drag into your project, that's all you need to do. Just go to the folder, find the file you want, and just drag it in, and it will load it. And scale it up, and click OK. So that was just my final tip. So that's it for this class, and hope you have fun playing around and trying different things. You can try all the different tools, you can try these filters, and just remember to save your project when you're done. And if you want to export it as a image file, go export, click JPEG, and set the quality, and click save. And now you have just an image file that you can save or print or upload to the internet or email to someone. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to email me if you have any questions or get stuck anywhere. Alright, thanks.